Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Pune Samvad and Seva Gunj Foundation, I, Aditi Anil Kurane, welcome each and every one of you here today as we gather for a memorable evening. Okay, I would like to invite Shri Vivek Ranjan Agnihotri ji. So please have a seat. Okay, so as I was saying, we are not just here for an event, we are here for an experience, a dialogue that transcends mere discussion and ventures into the realms of deep thought, reflection, and exchange. Ideas shape narratives, and narratives shapes history. And what better way to explore than a conversation that dwells into two most impactful aspects of our society: the Indian security challenges and the role of Indian cinema in shaping the perceptions. So cinema has always been not just an entertainment, it has been a powerful medium of storytelling. And Pune has a significant hub of Indian cinema, playing a very crucial role in shaping the Indian film industry. It influences, the cinema not only influences our lives, but it challenges norms and sparks debate. Pune, being the home of prestigious I'm so sorry, has nurtured some of the finest talents in the Indian cinema. And it has been instrumental in advancing cinematic education and for fostering the creativity among the aspiring filmmakers. Giving a brief intro to you about Pune Samvad, it's more than a platform. It is a growing community where passionate minds come together to explore the depth of the society, history, culture, and civilization. Pune Samvad has received a tremendous support from the community, with over 200 Punekars eagerly joining as volunteers. We had the privilege of hosting the remarkable speakers such as in the past, including late Shri Vivek Ranjan Agnihotri, K.K. Mohammed, Sanjeev Sanyal, Comrade Shrikant Deshmukh, Jai Sai Deepak, and many more. And we look forward to bring many more thought-provoking discussions. You can connect with us on our social media handles on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter to stay updated for our upcoming events. Before we begin this event, I would request you all that we take a moment to pay tribute to the martyrs of Pahalgam terrorist attack, the brave personals of Operation Sindoor, and the fearless warriors of Operation Kargar. So let's observe a 1 minute silence. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Their sacrifices serve as a reminder to our nation's resilience, courage, and commitment towards safeguarding our values. So coming to the dignitaries on the dais, I am sure none of them needs an introduction, but this is just a formality. We are very proud to introduce Shri Vivek Ranjan Agnihotri ji, a National Award winner, filmmaker, author, and public intellectual. known for his bold storytelling. His films, including Buddha in Traffic, The Kashmir Files, The Vaccine War, tackle socio-political issues and have sparked national conversations. He has also authored bestsellers like Urban Naxals and Who Killed Shastri, shaping public discourse on critical topics. Beyond filmmaking, his lectures at global institutions such as Harvard, Niti Aayog, and has served on prestigious film juries. His school of creativity empowers youth, while his podcast, Brutally Honest, engages audiences with thought-provoking discussions. A recipient of numerous awards and an honorary doctorate, he continues to influence cinema, literature, and public thought. So, we welcome you. Our next guest, I I'm not wrong if I say he's a backbone of Pune Samvad, is Shri Manoj G. Pochat, who serves as a conveyor for Pune Samvad and is a co-founder and COO of Seva Infotech Private Limited and Sakar Robotics Private Limited. Beyond his corporate achievements, Manoj Ji is deeply committed to community service. He's a trustee at Balasaheb Deoras Hospital and a co-lead at Pune Platform for Collaborative Responses. He also mentors startups at Atal Incubation Center, provides strategic advice, and serves on the advisory board of the Foundation for Indian Historical and Cultural Research. His leadership extends his role in Shiv Shrishti Project, a historical theme park in Pune. Manoj, we welcome you. We also like to welcome our phenomenal actor and an inspiring storyteller, Aroha Velankar. His journey from theaters to silver screen has been marked by dedication, passion, and pursuit of artistic excellence. His performances in films like Reggae, Ghanta, Funrai, and Dharmveer 2 has captivated audience and brought characters to life with authenticity and brilliance. His ability to connect with people through storytelling makes him an extraordinary artist. So, Aro Velankar sir, we welcome you. Today we have the privilege also to welcome Sri Amit Vashisht ji, the Regional Provident Fund Commissioner, Pune. 1998 batch, a UPSC batch pass out. He is an LLM and a PhD in law from National Law University. Presently posted in RPFC Pune and previously posted in Mumbai, Calcutta, Gwalior, and Indore offices in different capacities. He has also headed the legal division of EPFO at headquarters. He has also served as guest faculty on criminal labor and administrative laws at various NLUs. He has also been a member of drafting committee for the Code of Social Security. So, sir, we welcome you today. Moving forward, I would like to request Sri Manoj Pochat ji and Aroha Velnikar ji to facilitate Vivek Agnihotri ji. I would like to request Manoj Pochat ji to felicitate Mr. Aroha Velankar. I would again request Manoj Pocharji to felicitate Shri Amit Vashishji. I would now like to call Shri Manoj Pocharji to enlighten us with few words.
Namaskar, Punekar. I won't take much of time and stand in between Vivek ji and all of us. We are very happy at Pune Samvad that after so many months of persuasion, finally we have you, Vivek ji. And this time, actually, I didn't give him a chance. I said, you pick up the date and let me know. And we have him with us. Pune Samvad started last February 2024. We have just completed 15 months, a new kid on the block. In 15 months, we have hosted, as rightly said by in today's program by our anchor, we have hosted so many distinguished speakers and we are continuing to do so. Ours is a very different platform where we are engaging energetic and thoughtful mind in the discussions of national discourse. We are here for engagement and samvad for those who need it, for those who understand samvad and the importance of engagement. Pune Samvad is bringing up various ideas, topics, speakers across Bharat, various cities, and we give them a platform. At the same time, we also want to give platform to the people from the various education institutes. So if you see, every time in Pune Samvad, you see a different anchor. You see someone doing different, doing vote of thanks. So one side we have the distinguished speaker who is delivering a lecture, and another side we have a learner also. So that's a very different of this platform what we do at Pune Samvad. Pune Samvad, our message is to our speaker and the guest. Any thought you have, we have the perspective that can help them, and we also can help this perspective and thought process to ignite the young minds. One thing I admire about Vivek ji and our speaker, all the speakers what we have invited so far, their work and their passion and their continuous persuasions of the topic, the engagement, what they do. In fact, I would say that the kind of work Vivek ji has done, which is actually speaks a lot about its volume and the content, and we all are indebted to him. For example, the film he made, the Kashmir Files, the Buddha in Traffic, the Tashkent Files, all these works, which no one has dared to come out, and no one has done the research, the kind of extensive research, the kind of there is a risk also because we see this how violent and how various attacks and threats he got, but he continue and he keeps on doing that. The another project which we will talk about, the Bengal Files, which is coming up. I think I request everyone and all the Punekar to stand up and give him a standing ovation for the work he has done. Bharat Mata ki, Bharat Mata ki. Please sit down. I'm thankful to Shri Amit ji for gracing us as a guest for this today's program. He is also a backbone of Pune Samvad. He keeps on supporting us. ROG also is with us. And I must say one thing, that he was about to travel to Europe today, but I requested him to change his schedule and he's traveling tomorrow if I'm not wrong. So thank you very much, everyone. I will not waste time now, and will ask the volunteers to set up the stage so that ROG and Vivek ji can talk. Thank you very much. Bharat Mata ki Jai.
So Vivek ji and Aroji, the stage is all yours now. Guys, can we have a big round of applause,
Hello.
please?
I was supposed to talk something in Marathi, but whatever I was going to talk, everybody has covered everything. So I think I will directly jump on to the questions and the interview, which is why everybody is here. First of all, Vivek ji, welcome to Pune. And we are a lovely city, lovely set of people, intellectual people. And I'm sure everybody will be very honored and enriched by our discussion today. So the topic today, what we have is cinema's role in 2.5 front war. So everybody here must have heard, we all talk about it on news channels. But so just to put things in perspective and to first start with the concept, how do you interpret the idea of 2.5 front war is my first question. And to add to that, I want you to take us through your perspective as a filmmaker and culturally and psychologically, how do you interpret this 2.5 front war and what is the 2.5 front war according to you?
First of all, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. Thank you. And on a rainy day, so many people in such a big city, if they have come, it also shows that in India, we save all the Buddhijeevi Samvad for a rainy day. So thank you for coming here in such a large number. I am really delighted to be here. And before I start, I just want to say one thing. Both my parents were freedom fighters, and both my parents worked in Maharashtra and then later on in Madhya Pradesh. And my father, when I was a very young child, he always used to say that three cities which have shaped him. One was Calcutta, where he studied also. And then after that, all the nationalism and the creativity, and he was a writer and he was a Sanskrit scholar. He said two cities which actually made him a man were Pune and Nagpur. So I grew up thinking that Pune. So I grew up thinking very highly about Pune. Then I got married to a woman who first thing she told me, you are going to Pune, so you have to behave very in a cultured manner. You just cannot go there wearing any kind of clothes and everything. So I remember once I was coming wearing shorts. So Pallavi said, no, you don't go there, Pune. So we have deep respect for this. But anyway, coming to your question. My analysis is that this 2.5 war is now a redundant jargon. It needs upgradation, it needs a change. In today's India, as we sit right now in India, we are actually fighting a 3.75 war. I'll tell you why. This 2.5 is a traditional, very old, conventional army defense term, which was adapted in India. We follow West. But India's war is not at 2.5 fronts. India's new war, first of all, this what you call 0.5 is a Western term. In India, it was never 0.5. It was always 1. See, 2.5 means there is 1, there is 2, and there is 0.5. So China, Pakistan, like that. No, India is a civilizational state. India always had the 1 present. That's why India was partitioned. That's why Mughals came and ruled us. India's number 1 enemy has been people who have exploited in a negative way India's diversity and made people fight over the internal diversity, be it language, region, culture, traditions, caste. In one region, we were discussing inside. In Maharashtra itself, you will say Konkani versus Malwani versus Punekar versus Mumbaikars, Delhi versus Mumbai, languages. That's why people could come and rule over us. And what I'm saying is not in humor, it's a very serious thing. I have put in 10, 15 years of research behind this. So India always had an internal enemy. That's why Mughals could come and rule over us. Jachand bolte hain. I don't like to use that term, but basically internal traitors. Then how did you imagine, how did East India Company come into India? Because some businessmen wanted them to come, and they sold the interests of India to East India Company. Okay, I'll also take you slowly so that you are educated on this subject and it's not just like TV debate that you said something, I said something. So India's first enemy always was internal enemy. And that's why communism grew in India. You imagine why in a modern democracy, which was born post-World War, would have such a strong communist ecosystem in this country. I'll give you one example how to understand this. Naxalism movement, it started in 1960s, mid-60s, when Charubhai Mazumdar and all these young students revolted against Zamindars of Bengal. All Naxalism we are discussing, Bhima, Koregaon, you have seen, so you understand Naxalism. They were the first people who revolted against it. Okay? And this happened early in the morning around 7:30, 8 o'clock. Okay? So they were hiding in farms and suddenly in the morning they came and attacked a police station and in Naxalbari, that's why it's called Naxalism, and they attacked the police station, killed all the cops and picked up their guns and all that and revolted against Zamindars. And it was 100% communist movement against the state of India. Attacking police in any society, whether you like or hate police, is a war against the state. Can you believe it? That this news that they have attacked was published in China's main newspaper. China is ahead of us in time. How did it publish before the event took place? Correct? So this is a documentary evidence, and I am not saying it. I mean, it's everywhere. You can see it. It's in my book, Urban Naxals also. So India's first enemy was the internal enemy. India's second enemy was Islam, because they waged a war against the civilization of Bharat. When they started converting is the second stage, but when they started destroying the culture and civilization of India. Culture does not mean the rituals you practice. What is culture? Culture is your architecture, right? They destroyed your architecture. Temples are not just religious places, they are your architectural heritage. And they destroyed your school system. They destroyed everything else. Forget, they destroyed your confidence. They destroyed your aspirations. So that became your second enemy. And then came communism as your third enemy. So 2.5, okay, half. Communism was half, not full. And these three together started two-nation theory. And then during World War, when the Khilafat movement started, Caliphate movement started in the world, Khilafat movement, at that time, Gandhiji, I don't know why, I don't want to get into Gandhiji's politics at this moment because it's not appropriate forum also. But Gandhiji at that time, Britishers told him that unless and until Hindus and Muslims are united in the fight of independence, we won't listen to you. Tilakji had just died in 1920. And there was no national leader. It was a vacancy which Gandhiji realized that it's an open vacancy, and that was a very smart political move from his side. So he said that if I support the Khilafat movement, then Muslims will join and we can fight together with the Britishers. And in Calicut, in August 1921, for the first time, he supported the Khilafat movement. Before that, Islamism as a political movement was secondary to Hindu movement. But the Muslims of Malabar They thought that this is an opportunity for Muslim Swaraj. And it became a political entity, and that gave birth to real political two-nation theory. And people who don't know here, in fact, Jinnah resigned in December in Nagpur Congress convention. After that, Jinnah resigned. And he said, Congress is not a secular party anymore. Gandhi has made it a communal party, and I'm a secular person. Therefore, I'm resigning from Congress because my way is the right way, Gandhi's way is the wrong way, because my way is the constitutional way. And he resigned and he left India and went to London because of that. He went in three-piece suit. He came back in Achkan and Sherwani. So these were the two internal, very strong enemies, and they formed a force, communists and the Islamist forces. Because of that, India was partitioned. So we have to always remember, never forget, our first enemy was this force because of which India was divided. Suppose you have a house and somebody comes and divides it into two parts or creates a division between two brothers. Won't that be your first enemy? So that is our first enemy. And then now we come to nation state enemies. So Pakistan and China, these have been our traditional enemies. But now, trust me, I'm saying it for last 1.5, 2 years, that on the eastern side, Bangladesh is also emerging as a very strong enemy. We are ignoring it. And in this Indo-Pak conflict, we are not realizing that more we engage into Indo-Pak conflict, stronger Bangladesh becomes. I have seen with my own eyes the Indo-Bangladesh border. You may call it technically yours, but it's not yours, right? So that is like a informal division of India, which is slowly, inch by inch, village by village, it is transforming. So I call it 3.75 enemies because I include Bangladesh as 0.575 enemy right now. So you have internal enemy as number 1, you have Pakistan as number 2, China as number 3, and 0.75. This is how I define it.
Okay. One more point which you mentioned about targeting our education system and temples. There is a very beautiful book by Mr. Dharampal, and he has basically researched and written that book where he says that ancient temples or Hindu temples were not just places of worship, but they were also places of knowledge. And the same thing was targeted time and again. And when the Britishers came in and the Macaulay system, even Macaulay wrote this as a matter of policy that if you don't target the education system of this land, you will be able to capture it. Hello. So very well put, Vivek ji. Coming to the second point now, now that everybody must be on the same page about the 2.5, which you said now is a 3.75 front wall. I think social media and cyberspace should also be included in that space now. I think Vivek ji. And okay, ठीक है. So my next question to you is that always talk about hello, hello. Take this. Hello, hello. Yeah. So we always talk of cinema being a very big soft power. So with this introduction, with this concept of the 3.75 front war, whatever is happening around us right now, Operation Sindoor, and whatever you have been saying since the past 2 years, your observation, how do you think cinema can contribute to this particular war as a genuine and additional effort to what our government and armed forces is doing to basically mobilize, unite Indians and our causes internationally and locally as a soft power?
Yeah, so it's a very good question. I'm very happy. But before that, I want to give you a historical background. This entire soft power why cinema is treated as soft power. Um, I always speak about it, but just people who don't know. During the World War, when America got involved in the World War II, America realized that it's not possible to defeat the might of Hitler and the Nazi forces just by military attack or by air force and all that. They also realized that most of the world believes in what Hitler is doing. Most of the world is influenced, and his influence was everywhere in the world. So at that time, CIA, on behalf of American government, invited all the big studios of Hollywood. And they said that we want to fight this war on two fronts. And one front is soft power, not just the guns and tanks and fighter planes. And for that, American government invested billions of dollars in. So they did a reverse psychological game. They started, Hollywood then started making films which started telling the world that what are the advantages of democracy, what freedom means, what is liberty, and why America, and as a secondary byproduct of that, that why America is the greatest country in the world. America is not the greatest country in the world. Anybody who has been to US knows that.
Sure.
Okay, honestly speaking, no. On all parameters, it's not. Even economically, it's not like the number one country in the world on all the parameters. Yes, education-wise, definitely it's one of the greatest countries. Innovation-wise, it is, but not on all parameters. And when it comes to democracy, freedom, liberty, it's not. Ask Americans; they will give you a right answer. And even now, after the new government administration, definitely it is not, because people's liberties and freedoms are definitely on threat. But that is the branding America did all over the world. And the whole world slowly started thinking about democracy. If India chose to become a secular democracy in written form or unwritten form, it's a lot and lot of credit goes to Hollywood films also. The intellectuals of those times started referring to those films. In fact, when I was researching for the Bengal Files, I realized that so many Bengali and Maharashtrian intellectuals have actually been influenced by Hollywood films, and they said, oh, look at the greatness of democracy, you know. Because the communist propaganda was at its peak that time, propagating Marx and communism. And communism very smartly associated intellectualism and creative arts with Marxism. And they said, if you are an artist, you have to be Marxist. So America and Hollywood started a different war. They said, if you are a human being, human rights, they capitalized on. So it became like a software, and from there started the war of narratives, which again continued during the Cold War. Look at all the Cold War films which came from communist countries and which came from Hollywood. They were all about the great American system, right? And which attracted all Indian young boys and girls to go to US to study. It became Indian dream, not Indian dream. It became Chinese dream. It became Russian dream. It became dream of every single country. You go from Timbuktu to Japan to China to any country, even go to Maldives and ask anybody which is the greatest country in the world, they'll say America. Nobody associates homelessness with America, though the incidence of homelessness is the highest. If you take the graph, rising graph, it's in US. You say, which is the best city in the world? People will say New York. You go Manhattan and you'll see yourself, it's smelling of urine everywhere.
I was there last month, it was bad.
Yeah. Okay. So I understood that power. And I questioned. So I was also making, people who don't know my journey, I was making big commercial films, multi-starrer films. But then one day, I said, no, this is not what I want to do. Why can't we use our films as soft power? And so my first film was Buddha in a Traffic Jam. I don't know internationally, but recently I've seen a lot of Publications in Europe and US have also started using the word urban nexus because it's slowly reaching, because our Prime Minister uses it often, so it reaches somehow. So people have started using it. So I made Buddha in a traffic jam. Then the Tashkent Files made little inroads internationally in few countries here and there. But the Kashmir Files, I was determined that I'll use it as a soft power for this country. We made it for a purpose. Kashmir Files was not just a film for us. It was a mission. It was a project, and I just became the medium. It had to happen. Ma Saraswati blessed me. It had to happen. And I also suffered from a guilt. I was born in Gwalior. Our neighbor was Dr. Sushma Kaul. She was a professor of Sanskrit in Gwalior University. I grew up with their children. And until 10 years ago, or say 7 years ago, before I started the Kashmir Files, I didn't even know that they were victims of genocide in Kashmir. Now that guilt I just couldn't, And then I interviewed, everybody knows, so I won't waste time on that. We interviewed all the victims all over the world. We traveled, stayed with them, understood. Very painful stories. For 5 years, I wore only black to absorb the pain. This is the first time I've changed from black to different color now. I want to get out of this now. It's become too much for me. So I was determined I'll take this film wherever I can. We had no money. And we started showing it in colleges, universities in US, in Europe. Just to give you an example how a film can be used as a soft power. Before the Kashmir Files, in American universities, in European universities, and of course in Indian universities, there used to be chants of free Kashmir, free Kashmir, free Kashmir. Post that film, I guarantee you find me one example nobody has used that term. We went, in America, there is a lobbying system. If you want to meet a senator or a congressman, you have to pay money to them to talk on your behalf. We raised money. I won't name the guy, it's not appropriate. But the chairman of Indian caucus, a very senior senator there, we raised money to meet him. When we met him, you won't believe me, he was convinced that India has illegally occupied Kashmir. After seeing our film, he became a champion of the cause that Kashmir is an integral part of Bharat. Third thing, the Jew community. Jew community always stands up for people who are victims of any kind of persecution or genocide. They are very rich people and they invest money in them. Nobody knew that. I created a network with Indo-Jew communities, different Jew communities. I went to Holocaust museums. We have worked really hard. How much efforts we have put in, it's impossible to explain. I went from different synagogues. I met all kinds of rabbis, senators, Israeli commissions, everywhere. And if you see Kashmir Files, you'll notice that the American Jewish community, British Jewish community, everybody's name is there because they became collaborators with us and they hosted me wherever I went. And now whenever I go to US, Jew community invites me for dinner here and there and everywhere. They understood that it's very important for them to stand. And that's why when Pahalgam thing happened, or whenever there is an attack in Kashmir, always Israeli embassy stands up. When somebody called my film a propaganda, the first people in the world who stood up to support me was the Israel consulate in India. We were invited by the Capitol, the American Congress, in US, where all the senators, for the film, we were invited there. Some of the biggest policy makers have invited us. If you see senators, congressmen, they spoke. When they were talking about Pahalgam, all of them mentioned the Kashmir File. They said, we have seen that film and we know that India has been suffering because of terrorism. They are all available on Twitter and Instagram. You can see it. Recently, very popular. Atlanta's senator also spoke about it. UK Parliament invited us. We were invited in Germany, German Parliament, and so many other. Then the Human Rights Commission in Hague, they invited us. So all these places I went, we made a documentary, showed it, made presentations, all kinds of things we have done. Okay, so the film can be used as a soft power. You can change the narrative globally. And now my next film, The Bengal Files, I promise you, I am determined to go everywhere in the world and change the narrative. And I want people to know that how an enemy is developing and a new Kashmir is being created in Bengal. That's what I'm going to do.
Can you tell us more about the Bengal Files now that you've organically told
अब
us
फिल्म आएगी तो देखेंगे ही सब लोग उसको. But I'll tell you how
something
that,
about the research and
Okay.
why you felt and how you basically landed on the concept and what are you doing to, put on the facts, like whatever, yeah.
Okay. So, see, it just so happened that if you know Swapan Das Gupta ji, he's a public intellectual and a journalist. So he had invited me for an intellectual program in Calcutta, in very beautiful heritage building of National Museum, one of the first museums of India and one of the greatest. If you ever go to Calcutta, you must visit it. And it was full of 2,000-3,000 young people, students and a lot of young people. It was basically for youth. Balcony, everywhere full, jam-packed. I mean, delight to see such audience. And when I was the keynote speaker when I started talking. So I spoke about Bengal and I spoke about the Renaissance, the Indic Renaissance of Bengal. And when I was talking about that, and I was talking about some of the greatest people, I said, see, you have to be proud that the rejuvenation of Vedantic movement happened here. And I was seeing there were blank faces. Normally, when you speak about the great heritage and culture of a place, you see people are excited, they feel proud and they feel good about it. Then I asked them few questions. I said, do you know about this? They were blank. I said, do you know why Noah Khali is not part of Bengal anymore? They didn't know. When I asked them about Direct Action Day, I don't know how many of you know about Direct Action Day? Okay, some of you know about it, right? Great, I'm very happy. Then you have no reason to know, but people in Calcutta must know. I spoke about Gopal Patha, they didn't know. Most of the Hindu history they didn't know about. Then I asked them, I said, tell me which society in the history of humanity, 5,000 years of recorded human history, which society has been the longest and continuously persecuted? Somebody said Jews, somebody said something, somebody said blacks. Nobody said Hindus. And it's a truth. It's not a communal thing. It's got nothing to do with religion. Hindus used to live in Bharat. It's a fact. There is no, आप research कर लीजिएगा, there is no society which has been continuously enslaved. When I use the word enslaved, means you have a master and you have to obey the orders of that master. And if you fail to obey, then he has a right to hang you, to punish you, to jail you, or to take away the right to life or your dignity of your life away from you. That is enslavement. For 1,000 years, continuously, without a comma, without a pause, we are the only society which was persecuted. Forget the word genocide. Genocide is in time period. Continuously. In my film, The Bengal Files, I have used templates. I have got the original ones from Calcutta. They said dogs and Indians not allowed. Exactly so many words. It's not Indians and dogs not allowed. Dogs comes first. It's a psychological thing. Dogs and Indians not allowed. It should be, even if it's a derogatory thing, it should be Indians and dogs not allowed. Tell me, where has it happened? 1,000 years. 1,000 years, our history was distorted. Our architecture was destroyed in such a way, Hindu architecture was considered to be one of the most evolved architectures in the world. It used, और आपको मैं बताऊं, जो लोग आर्किटेक्चर के स्टूडेंट्स हैं, 70s तक तो पढ़ाया भी जाता था स्कूल्स ऑफ आर्किटेक्चर में. आई डोंट नो क्या हुआ during Congress and communists, some deal happened, and then Hindu architecture as a subject is not there. I am told by young students of architecture. It is taught in European universities and colleges of architecture, not in India. And it is such a scientific and wonderful architecture. The reason India is looking so ugly today is because we have forgotten Hindu architecture. Hindu literature. Everybody took it out. Tell me which country, which society in the world doesn't know about its own persecution? Do you think any black in the world doesn't know about that they were slaves? In fact, their entire politics is based on their slavery. Jews, can you imagine and find one Jew in this world who doesn't know how they were persecuted? This young man is sitting here. A lot of, who knows? Your children won't know. They'll say, हाँ ठीक है, हम कुछ साल के लिए ब्रिटिश हम पे रूल करते थे. रूल नहीं करते थे, they enslaved us. What is enslavery? When you don't have any dignity of life, when you don't have any value of life, when you have no right to life. That's what Mughals did. Aurangzeb, Taimur-Lang, आप Taimur-Lang का पढ़िएगा तो आप कांप जाएंगे. I had gone to Samarkand, जहां पे उसका tomb है, जहां उसकी मजार है, वहां पे लिखा हुआ है with pride. He was called the Sultan, means emperor of the world. He said, I won't call myself emperor until I destroy Delhi. Delhi that time was very respected place. He came to India in one night. वहां लिखा है उसके, मैंने वहीं पढ़ा, मुझे पता ही नहीं था. It says in one night he killed 100,000 Kafirs. 100,000, 1 lakh उस वक्त में. And then when he came back, he burned villages after villages after villages from Delhi to Haryana to Himachal to Kashmir and finally to Samarkand. Do you know about it? Imagine if this had happened to Britishers or to someone else. They would have written thousands of books on it. There is no book on it. So that was the first reason. 2-4 minute लूं जरा, ये जरा important issue है, क्योंकि ये आपको जानना चाहिए. Second thing, so this was one reason. Then I said, if the young people don't know about it, what can I do as a filmmaker, as a storyteller? So I started writing a book जो अभी आएगी. It's called Bengal the Blood Republic. पूरी हिस्ट्री है उसमें, आप देखिएगा बंगाल की. हिंदू हिस्ट्री है बेसिकली. The history of Hindu persecution. पहले उसका नाम मैं हिंदू जेनोसाइड रखना चाहता, पर आजकल वो थोड़ा कम्युनल लगता है, तो आई कॉल्ड इट द ब्लड रिपब्लिक. और थोड़ा लेफ्टिस्ट नाम रखना चाहिए, उससे फायदा ही. जहर को जहर ही काटता है. So that was one reason. Second thing was, I go to lots of universities and colleges as my own corporate social responsibility. I give lectures so to educate young people. मैं आपसे भी एक सवाल पूछता हूं. Be honest, मेरे को जवाब देने की जरूरत नहीं. When I say partition, which state comes to your mind? देखिए, सिर्फ एक, she said Bengal, everybody said Punjab. आप लोग बॉलीवुड को गाली देते हैं, बिल्कुल सही गाली देते हैं. They have polluted your minds. आप गदर देखिए, इसलिए आपको लगता है वो ट्रेनों में भर भर के लोग आ रहे हैं पंजाब से. एंड द मॉडर्न लिटरेचर, मॉडर्न पॉप कल्चर हैज ऑलवेज स्पोकन अबाउट पंजाब, एंड कांग्रेस हैज डेलिबरेटली स्पोकन अबाउट पंजाब. एंड ये सब मंटो वगैरह की कहानियां हैं. बॉलीवुड जितने ये राइटर्स थे, पंजाबी राइटर्स टुक ओवर. एंड बिकॉज पंजाबी इज वेरी क्लोज टू हिंदी, और पंजाबी लोग लिखते भले किसी भी लैंग्वेज में, बोलते हिंदी की तरह, इसलिए आपको पता है. बंगाली यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड. पार्टीशन का पूरा फाउंडेशन ही बंगाल में हुआ भाई. व्हाट वाज द कैपिटल ऑफ ब्रिटिशर्स? करेक्ट. वेयर वाज द सेंटर ऑफ पावर? कैलकाटा. Where did Indic Renaissance took place? There are only 2 places in the world where cultural renaissance has taken place, and both to create a revolution. One in France, second in Bengal. Vedanta revolution, where did it start? Bengal. Advaita, Bengal. आप देखिए तो हिंदू जो धार्मिक रिवाइवल है वो सारा बंगाल में चालू हुआ है। वेदांत सारा आप देख लीजिए ना, आपने ऑटोबायोग्राफी ऑफ योगी पढ़ी होगी, कहां से है वो? रामकृष्ण परमहंस जी कहां से आए? विवेकानंद जी कहां से आए? श्री औरोबिंदो कहां से आए? ग्रेटेस्ट ऑफ द फिलोसोफर्स। ये सारे फिलोसोफर्स कहां से आए जिन्होंने हिंदू फिलोसफी को आगे लेके गए? ऑल ऑफ देम केम। ये हरे रामा हरे कृष्णा जो आज पूरे वर्ल्ड में चलता है, वेयर हैज इट कम फ्रॉम? बंगाल। नाउ एजुकेशन, द एंटायर फाइट against British education system started over there. Art, literature, poetry, nationalism. Vande Mataram came from there. Amar Janmabhoomi, a great song, aap suniyega meri film mein abhi, that came from there. Janaganman came from there. Even Bangladesh's national anthem also came from there. Some of the greatest of the freedom fighters and nationalist leaders came from there. Where was Azad Hind Fauj formed? Cinema, who revived nationalistic movement through cinema? सबसे अधिक nationalist इतना ज़्यादा बंगाल का contribution था that British government didn't know how to handle intellectualism and cultural and religious and spiritual renaissance of Bengal. So, to fight that, they divided Bengal in 1905. आप ये सुनिए अगले 2 मिनट मेरी बात, आपको यकीन नहीं होगा इंडिया की हिस्ट्री कैसे झूठ बताई गई है आपको। बंगाल वॉज डिवाइडेड इन 1905. बंगाल इज द ओनली स्टेट इन द वर्ल्ड, ओनली पॉलिटिकल स्टेट इन द वर्ल्ड विच हैज बीन डिवाइडेड थ्राइस. द बंगाली कल्चरल स्टेट आई एम टॉकिंग. इन 1905 it was divided. Then what happens? Then the गरम दल ऑफ कांग्रेस, आपने सुना होगा बिपिन चंद्र पाल और वो लाल पाल. तो बिपिन चंद्र पाल hired a young boy called औरोबिंदो घोष, जिनको श्री औरोबिंदो के नाम से हम जानते हैं. आज जर्नलिज्म का जो इतना लो स्टैंडर्ड है, जस्ट सी व्हाट जर्नलिज्म कैन डू, हाउ जर्नलिज्म कैन मेक द वर्ल्ड्स बिगेस्ट पावर नील डाउन ऑन इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू. ही स्टार्टेड अ न्यूज़पेपर कॉल्ड वंदे मातरम. जो वंदे मातरम मूवमेंट है वो उसके कारण चालू हुआ. He started, Aurobindo Ghosh alone started writing articles every day. उसने पूरी कंट्री में यंग लोगों में ऐसा जोश जगाया that ultimately because of that Britishers had to reunite Bengal. 6 साल के बाद बंगाल को reunite करना पड़ा. Then again they started the armed war. तो उसको फाइट करने के लिए दे सेड हाउ टू कट डाउन देयर पावर, दे शिफ्टेड द कैपिटल फ्रॉम कैलकाटा टू न्यू दिल्ली. डू यू नो दैट दे डिसाइडेड, देयर वर 2 cities they decided to make their capital. Which was the second one? Right, second was Pune. But they couldn't come to Pune for a variety of reasons, so they went to Delhi. And Delhi had a very strong Islamic this thing, so they thought they will break India like that. Then Bengal was again divided in 1971. Correct? And now it is almost, when I say almost doesn't mean tomorrow, in next few years, Kashmir also took this entire genocide thing, started in 1980 and finished in 1995, so over 15 years, but started in 1947. So these processes take time. That's the reason I said nobody knows about it. It's very important. And why Bengal was divided? Because the Islamist forces said their project was called changing the demography inch by inch. It is this language I picked up from the books which were written in 1940s, not today's. Inch by inch the word they used. Now Noah Khali genocide, you know about it. Noah Khali कौन सी language का word है? अपना है संस्कृत का. Noah means new and Khali means village. New village. Noah is a Bengali word. It's not a Islamic word. Now by the time Noah Khali was a girl of Hindu Mahasabha. Rajendra Lal Roy Chaudhary was a Hindu Mahasabha president and president of Bar Association. He revolted against Gandhi. He said, I will keep gun. Because if tomorrow these people come to attack my sisters and my mothers, who's going to protect them? I'll protect them. And that man, for 2 nights and 2 days alone, He called 400 Hindus into his Haveli. 2 nights and 2 days he fought alone with his gun with Miyar Fauj, means the army of Miyas. He fought with them. You'll see in my film all those things. He fought with them. Ultimately, the guy called Ghulam cut his head and put it on a silver tray and made his 2 daughters sex slave. Similarly, Gopal Patha, alone, the Great Calcutta Killings, Direct Action Day was called great. In 4 days, 40,000 people were killed. Streets after streets were full of Hindu skeletons. Vultures are eating their remaining flesh. I'll just tell you one incident. You know, women's breasts were cut and they used to hang them in butcher shop where you hang goats and bakra or all that. And the photographs of that, it's not that somebody is making it up. And these photographs were taken by a photographer of Time and Life magazine called Margaret. So nobody can say कि यार तो इंडियन लोग हैं झूठ बोलते हैं तो टाइम मैगजीन गोरे लोगों ने किया तो सच ही होगा. I mean, I'm talking in general terms, you know what people believe. There are photos. अभी करिएगा आप इसके बाद. Just Google direct action day. The first photo which will come is full of a street of Hindu bodies and vultures are eating it. अभी देखिएगा आप थोड़ी देर में. It's not I'm making up. Streets after streets, 40,000 people were killed. Okay. And we were intoxicated with ahimsa. And that time Gopal Patha was a Brahmin butcher. He was a butcher, Gopal Patha. Patha means goat. मतलब बकरा. तो जो बकरा काटते हैं इसलिए उसका नाम पाठा था. And he was a bhakt of Ma Kali. And he was a very gentleman, not coward, but just some शरीफ लोग होते हैं नहीं मारपीट नहीं करना. And then he went and took oath in front of Ma Kali. He said, now we have to fight. And then Hindus were divided. Yadav जो थे बिहारी वो कहते थे हमें क्या लेना देना है बंगालियों से. Marwadis had lot of money. They used to say भाई हमारा business चलता रहे. Sikhs who fought in World War II had come. Everybody used to think they are spies of World War and therefore nobody was trusting them. All Hindus were divided in small sections in Bengal. One man, only one man, Gopal Patha, he brought them together. He said, Yadavs, you have lut, you are very good with latbaji. We don't have money for guns. You fight with your luts. Marwadis, you give us money so we can buy guns from black soldiers of World War. He said, Sikhs, you are very good with Kripan and all that. You go and fight with that. And he got all the butcher Hindu. In Bengal, there was no discrimination. Butchers was a profession. So a lot of Hindus used to practice it. He got them. They got whatever things they were. And they fought back. And the chief minister of Bengal, they were called prime minister at that time. He was called Butcher of Bengal. The term which we people use for today's chief minister, actually the term has come from Suharawardi. He was by Anand Bazar Patrika, he was called Butcher of Bengal. New York Times, you pick up, it was called Butcher of Bengal. He requested, he said, I am not the Butcher of Bengal, Patha is the Butcher of Bengal. And he was defeated. He had to stop Great Calcutta Killings and he had to bring army to stop Hindus. He said, if we don't stop Patha and his gang, that's the term he used, and his gang, no Muslim will be left to make Pakistan. What is the point? Stop it now. Why you are not told about this history? One Jew got one knife in one of the camps and he killed few Nazis. He is celebrated as one of the greatest heroes. Why aren't we taught this in history? Why Bengali young boys and girls don't know about this? Why a young boy sitting in Pune should not know about this hero? And he is the one when Gandhiji sat on infinite unshan in Bhuk Hartal, and he asked everybody to surrender. Sorry, 30 seconds I'll finish this. It's Ahmed. अब मैं भी थोड़ा इमोशनल हो जाता हूँ 4 साल से ये अकेले कर रहा हूँ. I'm fighting this.
The whole point of this dialogue is to pass on
बस
facts, emotions. So please.
एक लास्ट चीज आपको बताता हूँ. लोग हिंदुओं को मेरा खून खोलता है. हिंदुओं कहते हैं कि ये डरपोक लोग हैं, कावर्ड हैं, ऐसे हैं. ऐसा नहीं है. हमारे यहाँ बहुत हीरोज हुए हैं. प्रॉब्लम है उनको अगर आप सेलिब्रेट नहीं करोगे, उनको जानोगे नहीं, तो कैसे कोई खड़ा होगा नया. इट्स अ लॉस्ट हेरिटेज ऑफ इंडिया. सो आपने गांधी फिल्म में देखा होगा, उसमें झूठ दिखाया गया है. ओमपुरी का कैरेक्टर है गांधी फिल्म में, देखिए, ही कम्स और उनके मुंह पर रोटी फेंक देता है, कहता है ये खाओ, भूखे नहीं मरो, तुम्हारे मरने का पाप मैं अपने सर पे नहीं ले सकता हूं. दैट इज गोपाल पाठा. बट दे हैव शोन हिम एज, वो कांग्रेस स्पॉन्सर्ड फिल्म थी, इट वाज शोन वेरी डिफरेंटली. बट द ट्रूथ इज, एंड अच्छा, गोपाल पाठा के बारे में करना, उनका बीबीसी पे इंटरव्यू भी, बट यू कैन रीड अ लॉट ऑन गोपाल पाठा नाउ. Thanks to us, we have done a lot of activation, so it's available now. Gopal Pata went to Gandhi. Gandhi said, surrender. Everybody surrendered their arms. गांधी ने कहा नहीं, अपने आर्म सरेंडर करो वरना मैं भूखा मर जाऊंगा. और लोगों ने किया, और गांधी का था इन्फ्लुएंस, आप यू कैन टेक इट अवे फ्रॉम गांधी. He was the only sher, a Bengal tiger, who went and said to Gandhi, he said, I respect you a lot, but if I have used even one nail, means nail, oh, keel jo hota hai, that I have used even one nail to protect my sisters and mothers, I won't even surrender that to you. And he left from there. He did not surrender any arm in front of Gandhi. And that actually gave so much of courage to all these people. So many young people joined Azad Hind Fauj and they started armed rebellion. But by that time it was too late. Then Noakhali genocide happened and ultimately we gave up. So I said Bengal was divided because of the strategy of demography change. Second thing, what Muslim League did in Great Calcutta killings, they outsourced the killing. They did not kill themselves. They outsourced the killings to the youth division of Muslim League. It was called Muslim League Guards, National Guards, which was Mujibur Rahman was leading it. And to them and to the underworld, the mafia of Calcutta, the criminals of Calcutta, to pickpockets, thieves, to them. So when India was independent, imagine where would these criminals go? They didn't go to Pakistan. All of them joined Congress. Then when communists came, en masse they joined Communist Party. When communists lost and TMC came, en masse all of them joined TMC. That's why Bengal elections are the most violent elections. Today, if you think these people, this mafia runs, and ऐसा नहीं है कि यहाँ खत्म हो जाएगा. Any party which comes later, en masse they will join because they survive. They are called Tolibaj over there. But that's another story. So I wanted to study. Then I went to interview all these old survivors, 100 years, 104 years. When I went to this 24 Pargana, जहाँ पे संदेश खाली और ये सारा area है, and ironically it's called Sundarban. Okay, Murshidabad and all. So we said, let's compare whether the conditions and the politics of 1946, did it end with the partition? It still exists. So I won't tell you much, see the film. So we set the present time in Murshidabad and we shot the film last year. And whatever we have shot last year in Murshidabad in the present times, everything like carbon copy happened few months ago. This is Bengal. That's why this film is so important. For me, this is more important than Kashmir because Bengal is the new Kashmir. It's ready to explode. It is not, please, Twitter activism is good. It's not going to do that. But it's very important for everyone to be aware, more than Kashmir Files, what it did for Kashmir, Bengal Files will do for Hindus and Bharat.
Wow.
Sorry for taking so long.
No,
it was important.
It's very important that people take this passion and the research and the approach that you have taken to your filmmaking. It is very important. So I'll take one last question and then we'll open up. We can have a few questions after that. In today's time,
मैं बहुत छोटा आंसर दूंगा.
नहीं, no problem. You can take your time. So coming back to our topic today, whatever you have said and the reason why we are here, what would you say to young creators, youngsters, filmmakers and all the audience who is present here? So what is our responsibility in today's time and age to fight this war, this information war, this three-front war, this narrative war, and what can we do and how can we go about it?
See, I am nobody to advise anybody. Honestly, I don't feel वो एकदम से लगता है जैसे लाइफ टाइम अचीवमेंट अवार्ड मिल रहा है, बुढ़े हो गए हैं और अब हाँ बेटा देखो, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. आई कैन जस्ट टेल यू फ्रॉम व्हाट आई डू. I realized it's very important to, rather than being reactionary all the times, if you want to defeat a narrative or an enemy, it's very important to draw a much bigger line in front of that. If India has to be part of a global narrative, then we cannot just focus on Pakistan, you know. We have to now look at it on many fronts. It's not that it's my domain. Innovation. Okay, innovation on all fronts. I think India has a great potential to become an innovation and creative hub. We should use Jugaad as our strength. You know, like Japan used Zen to its strength. We should not just talk about spirituality always in the religious terms, but also use spirituality for our fearlessness. What is spirituality? कि हाँ भाई पुनर्जन्म होगा, हमें मौत का डर नहीं है, मोक्ष वाला. वो मोक्ष जो है उसको लाइफ में प्रैक्टिस ऐसे करना चाहिए. We should not be scared of creating new things, becoming progressive, going into frontiers. And और हम इतना वेद और वेदांता की बात कर, आई एम अ ग्रेट स्टूडेंट ऑफ वेदांता, आई एम अ स्पिरिचुअल फिलोसॉफिकल पर्सन. तो मैंने जो सीखा वही, इतनी उसकी बात करते हैं पर उसको हमें थोड़ा प्रैक्टिस भी करना चाहिए. वी शुड प्रैक्टिस इन अवर रियल लाइफ. हाउ विल यू डू दैट? ये तो बात हो गई, बट हाउ विल यू प्रैक्टिस? सो व्हाट आई डिड, मैं भी कोई ऐसा पैदा नहीं हुआ था ऐसा लेके, बट समवेयर इन 2010 सम ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन टुक प्लेस. कई बार थोड़े बच्चे भी बड़े होते हैं तो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन होता है, बाल सफ़ेद दिखने लगते हैं तो होता है, या पीपल अटैक यू. सो आई रियलाइज दैट इन दिस लाइफ टाइम इफ आई हैव टू क्रिएट अ बिगर लाइन. मैं एक्चुअली मेरा सारा ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हुआ था क्योंकि मैंने स्वामी विवेकानंद जी को बहुत पढ़ता हूँ. तो एक जगह मैंने पढ़ा, he said give me, in I don't know exact words, but he said कि give me 100 committed volunteers and I will change the face of भारत और हिंदुइज्म, समथिंग लाइक दैट ही सेड. तो वो तो ठीक है, वो तो अच्छी बात है. बट देन आई ऑल्सो रेड आफ्टर दैट दैट इन हिज लाइफ टाइम ही कुडंट फाइंड 100 कमिटेड वॉलंटियर्स. एंड देन आई सेड आई एम गोइंग टू बी दैट वन वॉलंटियर. एंड लाइक ही स्प्रेड. आपको पता है इस इंडियन वेदांत और स्पिरिचुअल का कैपिटल आज क्या है? बताइए कहां है उसका कैपिटल? हु कैन टेल मी? The real capital of, means in preaching and educational terms, which is the real capital of Hindu Vedanta? Tell me. It's America. मैं अभी गया था, स्वामी सर प्रियानंद जी ने बुलाया था उनके लेक्चर में. It was full of Americans on the Easter day, Easter morning, because of Swami Vivekananda. A lot of universities in US have courses on Vedantic studies because of Swami Vivekananda. In Chicago, there is a street called Swami Vivekananda Street right in front of School of Museum of Art. Right? He has great respect there. Why? Because he did not go there to criticize anyone. He went there and spoke with conviction about the greatness of Hindu philosophy. That's what I do. I travel all over the world. I go and talk about the greatness of Hindu philosophy. So instead of showing somebody smaller, talk about your greatness. Instead of criticizing your neighbor's son, talk about the greatness of your son. You will find we have amazing greatness. मैंने आपको हिंदू आर्किटेक्चर, so whatever is a subject which you like, talk about the greatness of that. If you are from Pune, find the greatness of Pune. Find the greatness of the tree next to your house which is 120-year-old. Find a purpose with something and speak about its greatness wherever you can, in a party, in front of 4 people, in lecture like this. Write books about it, write tweet threads about it. Do that. It is a job of patience. It takes, but see, I've been doing it. I wrote Urban Excels. Today the world is talking about it. I spoke about Lal Bahadur Shastri. People are talking about. I did not criticize anybody. I spoke about the greatness of Shastri. I just told the younger generations that the Green Revolution, White Revolution, nuclear, this thing was started by Shastri ji. So when everybody used to say, "Arey yaar, wo kaun Shastri mein interested hoga? 4 foot ke the." कोई ऐसा हीरो बनाओ अपनी फिल्म में जो यहाँ रोज लगाता हो, गुलाब का फूल लगाता हो, ऐसा कोई हैंडसम आदमी. Actually, Bollywood people used to tell me. But since I spoke about his greatness, today so many people have understood that. Kashmir, if you think Kashmir Files worked because we showed the pain, no, you are wrong. It's the last 10 minutes monologue of that boy when he lists down the greatness of Kashmir. Then you say, oh my God, what we have lost. In same Bengal Files, when you'll see the film, take your children, children means not बहुत छोटे बच्चे नहीं, but take all young people and make sure show it to 5-6 young people in your neighborhood. Then they will understand the greatness and sacrifice of Hindu society in context of Bengal. Then they will say, oh my God, we have lost this much. That they care for. So whatever is your skill, if you're a doctor, talk about great doctors of India. Their contribution in the world. In World War II, Indian doctors played such a great role. Nobody talks about it. Nobody knows about it. So we are not proud of ourselves. We are not proud of our history. And we are not sad and pained about what we have lost. These two things as a citizen you can very easily do. Housewives who are not working and all that, talk about the mothers. I go everywhere. Why I made the vaccine war? Not because of science, not to say India made a vaccine, because women who are traditional Indian women who don't get that respect which a lot of urban women get, I said if they can save millions of lives, we have to celebrate that motherhood. Indian mothers, Indian housewives, homemakers can be celebrated. I'll end just giving you an example. You can find greatness anywhere. Today, the biggest problem, the biggest crisis of the world is trust deficit. People don't trust each other. If you go to Europe and America, you ask, रात को आप highway में फंस जाएं, you ask for a ride, nobody will stop a car for you. They will stop a car if they recognize you are an Indian. Anywhere in the world you go, wherever in the world you go, people trust Indians. Now I ask you, you say Elon Musk has made Tesla, Falana has made this product, and they come as man of the year, maker of the year. They are celebrated or not for making a car and battery car and all those things. Why shouldn't those mothers be celebrated who create individuals who the world can trust? So Indian mothers should be celebrated or not? Now these are the stories you can tell the world. Talk about the greatness of India. You don't become Vishwaguru only by saying we will become Vishwaguru. You become by telling the stories which only a guru can tell. This is the formula I follow. I treat myself as the volunteer of Swami Vivekananda. In your mind, you can become volunteer of whoever you want and dedicate your life towards that purpose. I think that is the dharma in modern times.
Thank you. Thank you for this enlightening talk, Vivek ji. I will just end by, I think we have covered all the topics. Bharat Mata ki. Bharat Mata ki. Bharat Mata ki. I think जर कोणाला प्रश्न असतील तर तुम्ही प्लीज विचारू शकता. आपण एक पटकन 15 मिनिटाचा Q&A करू शकतो आणि त्यानंतर आपण थांबूया.
So it was mind-blowing session with you, and I was completely in awe with whatever you were saying. I was just sharing at backstage that I was at IIM Ahmedabad, and the kind of teachers I had were maximum communist mentality teachers. Also, I'll name the person. In my class of 41 students, I had a friend who was senior to me, senior professor from Jammu and Kashmir, Central University. His name was Ziaul Haq. And when we used to ask him, Zia, tum kahan se padhe ho? Like, people used to ask me, Nivedita, kahan se padhi ho? Pune University. He said, foreign se padh ke aaya hu. We were like, when we were new, we never asked him, foreign se padha hoga kahin to. तो एक मेरे तमिल फ्रेंड थे रवि सर. ही सेड निवेता वो फॉरेन से नहीं पढ़ा है, वो जम्मू कश्मीर से पढ़ा है, ये जानबूझ के बोलता है. तो वन डे आई मेड अ कॉल एंड मैं, जिया सच बताओ ना कहाँ से पढ़े. तो बोला यार बताया ना फॉरेन से, जम्मू एंड कश्मीर से। मैंने बोला इंडिया से तो है। बोला कहाँ इंडिया का पार्ट है वो। So that is the kind of culture they have in Jammu and Kashmir till today. I just want to ask you, what is your take on the education system? And we have now introduced National Education Policy also, which has a soul called as Indian Knowledge System, IKS, that we are also teaching in our schools and colleges. We have to teach. So do you have, sir, any take on this education and urban nationalism and everything, and how the urban nationalism is incepted in our education?
See, it's unfortunate in 70s, Congress needed a lot of support from other political parties, and not many political parties supported. So they found support in communists. So communists came in support of Indira Gandhi ji's government, and there was kind of a barter. So they said, give us education and culture. And Congress, Mrs. Gandhi thought, okay, these are one of the least important ministries. I'm not giving defense and finance to them. But she didn't realize that the soul of any society is its culture. You can be the biggest economic power, but you can be without any culture. So we gave culture and communism to them. If you go to, do you know that in Poland and Germany, you can't even question whether Hitler was killed or he committed suicide. You can't even question it. There's law against that. You can't utter a word against Holocaust. You can't say anything. In Germany, when a child is born, first thing in school they teach that child is the ills of Hitler's time. So what not to become? You tell me something. Do we have anything like this? A country which was bloodied. I mean, look at the partition. It's the biggest. I mean, millions of people were killed. Streets are filled with blood. Till date, we have not been able to recover from them. Have you seen any school teaching what not to become? Have we? We don't know what we have lost. I can give you hundreds of examples, things you don't know, which are so critical, important to our history. All urban nationalism is like weed of monsoon. Okay? It suddenly grows very fast, and if you don't control it and don't cut it, then it can destroy forests after forests. It spreads like a wildfire. So you have to cut it, and the best way to cut it is, like I said, we have to teach all whatever you want to teach, but at the same time, the history of India's slavery, history of Hindu persecution, Hindu genocide, and not this only. It's not because it's about Hinduism. It's because anybody who lives in this country has to learn. See, if you say Muslims, who are Muslims? Ultimately, they were also Hindus. Initially, they were persecuted. That's why they converted into Islam, na? They did not convert because they said, aha, dekho ye Mughal log aaye, let's convert. It's not that Nike shoe has come to India or iPhone has come to India that you are making queue to buy iPhone. You were killed. You were persecuted. And that's why, out of fear, in Malabar, in fact, we started with researching Mopla genocide, but then I left it for some other film. The whole conversion over there, how did it start? These Arab people used to come to India, and then slowly they started killing people, and they said you have to have one Muslim child in your house. It was all with the sword. All the conversion into Christianity also happened because of guns. So they were also persecuted. Somebody has to tell them, your forefathers were persecuted, they were tortured, that's why you are what? So you are one of us. Unless and until you understand, when your child goes past a ruined building, what does he see? Do you ever tell him, look at this? In Europe, they say, look, we used to have a great building. What Hitler did to it? Don't you think in Gaza they are saying, look what they have done? आपने कभी किसी को, पूना में मैं आया था, वहाँ पे वो पोस्ट ऑफिस बना दिया, इतनी ब्यूटीफुल बिल्डिंग, उसमें गंदे गंदे बोर्ड लगे हुए हैं बाहर. मैंने उसके ऊपर ट्वीट किया था कि व्हाट आर वी डूइंग टू आवर आर्किटेक्चर एंड हेरिटेज. एज अ पुणेकर, हैव यू एवर टोल्ड योर चिल्ड्रन, देखो ये क्या कर दिया हमारे वहाँ पोस्ट ऑफिस बना है, मेन पोस्ट ऑफिस. व्हाट इज दैट बिल्डिंग? आई डोंट रिमेंबर नो द नेम ऑफ दैट बिल्डिंग. किसी ने कभी लिखा उसके बारे में? सो व्हाट वी हैव लॉस्ट, ये बताना बहुत जरूरी है. समझिए आप ही के ग्रैंडफादर के साथ ग्रेट इनजस्टिस हुई हो, तो वोंट यू टेल योर ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रन? This is what education ministry needs to do. Second thing is culture. Okay, now culture is everything. The way you make roti is also part of that culture. But sadly, we, instead of adopting modernism, we have adopted westernism. आज हर घर में, मैं लास्ट में एक एग्जांपल देता हूं, आप समझेंगे व्हाट गवर्नमेंट नीड्स टू आल्सो डू. इसमें गवर्नमेंट का बहुत बड़ा रोल है. आज इफ जर्मनी इज सच अ ह्यूमन राइट सेंसिटिव कंट्री बिकॉज ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट, इफ अमेरिका फिल्म्स आर सॉफ्ट पावर बिकॉज ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट, अपनी गवर्नमेंट का भी एक इसमें बहुत बड़ा दोष है. आज इंडिया में सब जगह बर्थडे मनाए जाते हैं, केक काटा जाता है. स्टॉन्च हिंदू ट्रेडिशनल फैमिलीज में भी केक काटा जाता है. कोई बात नहीं, केक काटिए, चलिए, मुझे उससे भी, आई एम, खाने को लेके मैं रिलीजियस नहीं होता हूं. पर एक चीज देखिए ना, हमारे यहां ज्योति जलाई जाती है जब कोई अच्छा काम होता है, केक में ज्योति बुझाई जाती है. ज्योति बुझाना डेथ का प्रतीक है, ज्योति जलाना जीवन का प्रतीक है. हम लोगों ने डेथ के प्रतीक को सेलिब्रेट करना शुरू कर दिया है. वी आर सेलिब्रेटिंग सैटर्न इंस्टेड ऑफ ज्योति. ये आपके आंखों के सामने हो रहा है. ये मैंने बताया, ऐसे 1000 एग्जाम्पल्स आपको बता सकता हूं मैं. ये काम किसका है? ये मेरा तो नहीं है, मैं अकेले नहीं कर सकता हूं. और आप कहें हम करेंगे, आप भी नहीं कर सकते हैं. इसके लिए गवर्नमेंट को करना पड़ेगा, ये एजुकेशन मिनिस्ट्री को करना पड़ेगा. अगर ज्योति की इंपॉर्टेंस ही नहीं पता है, तो फिर ज्योति बुझे जले, उसके ऊपर पांव रखो, जूता रखो, क्या फर्क पड़ता है?
अजून 2 प्रश्न घेऊया आपण. तर ओके, तू आणि मग तुम्ही एक विचारा.
Good evening, Mr. Agnihotri. My name is Akshat Vashisht. There's a saying that either you don't know the information or the information that you know is misinformation. Coming, as you have said, most of the official events that have happened are not present in the official works, right? So, coming from such a demographic, speaking from the side of the youth, how do we access this information? How do we spread the message and know what has happened, the facts?
Number one, though, if somebody is making an effort to pass on that information, respect it and spread it. Okay, अभी मुझसे somebody was asking me somewhere कि ये right wing की films Bollywood में क्यों नहीं बनती हैं. मैं कहता हूँ ऐसा नहीं बनती नहीं है. Okay, लेकिन it's unfortunate that we only don't go and watch them by paying tickets. So अब जैसे हमारा Kashmir Files, okay, is one of the landmark successful films, but now I am making the Bengal Files, which is releasing on 5th of September. It's just 3 months away, and we still don't have a distributor or OTT platform. We don't even know whether this film is going to work or not. Most of the people don't even know that we are making a film like this. But if Karan Johar was making a film, all of you will know right now, in 1 second. And a lot of people will also start planning, chalo kab aayegi, kab chal ke dekhna hai. Right? So you also, what do leftists do? They have captured the economic market. Their books are so successful. They are written against you and they are so successful. Right? But people who write our books, they are not as successful. So now the Bengal Files is coming. All of you decide. We are going to be brand ambassadors. We'll make sure that this film, we show it to young people, 10 young people, and see how the market will change. You'll start getting information. 10 more people will make films. There are 10, 15, 20, 100,000 young Vivek Agnihotris waiting to make those films. But if they won't get the ecosystem and the environment, why will they make it?
It's an absolute pleasure to meet you, Mr. Agnihotri. I'm Amit Satnam Vadwa, very proud Punekar for the last 50 years. I just want to share one experience, not ask a question, just share one very relevant experience. My family is all over India, and my Masi used to live in Jammu, and I went to meet her with my family, my wife Shilpa and son Rohan. A few years ago, this was pre-370, And from Jammu, we took the plane and we landed in Srinagar. And our driver, when he came to receive us, he was a Muslim gentleman. He asked us, "Aap kahan se aa rahe ho?" हमने कहा हम जम्मू से आ रहे हो. And he said, "अच्छा आप हिंदुस्तान से आ रहे हो." I was, of course, interested and intrigued to see that. Then we went to Lal Chowk. I was very proud to show my family, my wife Shilpa and son Rohin, the Hindustan India flag and a big, big photograph, portrait of Prime Minister, respected Prime Minister Modi, right at Lal Chowk. And we all know the history of Lal Chowk over the last many decades. I also took my family to Gulmarg for skiing and all because I wanted to give my son that experience. And there, I'm Amit, my wife is Shilpa, my son is Rohin. They said, "Acha, aap Ahmed hai, aap Shilpa hai, aap Salma hai, aap Rohin hai, aap Rashid hai." But I had the guts in myself, I had the confidence in my Prime Minister, I had the confidence in my religion, Hinduism, Hindutva, whatever you want to call it. I said, हमें आपसे business ही नहीं करना है. हम लोग श्रीनगर से आए हैं, गुलमर्ग, इतने कपड़े 3-4 layers कपड़े पहन के we are going back right now. नहीं 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 नहीं, आप अमित ही रहिए, आप शिल्पा ही रहिए, आप रोहिणी रहिए, please हमें business दीजिए. And after that, 7 Muslim people, they served us for the next 4 hours, very kindly, very graciously, that also I must say. But all of these experiences, I just wanted to share in this privileged forum. Thank you very much, sir.
I agree with every single word. I experience it all the time, so I know it. Yeah.
Thank you, Vivek ji. Thank you for gracing Pune and Pune Samvad today with your enlightening views. I would like to thank Pune Samvad team, Manoj ji, Pratik, everybody for organizing this wonderful Samvad and event. And I would like to thank the organizers for having me over here and interview Vivek ji
You
for
are
this.
very good and thank you very much for that. मैं एक बार खड़े होके आप सबका अभिनंदन करना चाहता हूँ. मैं थोड़ा इमोशनल हो गया था, पर आई एम सॉरी. जब बहुत अच्छी ऑडियंस हो, बहुत अच्छे लोग रिसीव करने के लिए हो, तो फिर दिमाग से नहीं दिल से आवाज़ निकलती है. एंड मैं आपका बहुत हाथ जोड़ के अभिनंदन करता हूँ.
Thank you, Vivek ji. Before vote of thanks, I would like to announce our next program on 21st of June, dialogue with Gurudev Vivek ji, and the topic is Sanatan Saksha on the banks of Holy Narmada, 21st June, 6 p.m. So.
As we near to the end of this enlightening evening, it's time to express our gratitude. First and foremost, a massive thank you to our esteemed speaker, Mr. Vivek Ranjan Agnihotri, and Mr. Aroh Velankar for their valuable insights and thought-provoking dialogue. A heartfelt appreciation to our gracious audience. You are a soul of such intellectual gatherings. A special thank you to the organizing team and the volunteers who have worked tirelessly to make this event a grand success. I also express our gratitude to Dr. Gajanan Ekbote, President of Progressive Education Society, and Dr. Jyotsna Ekbote. And finally, to Pune Samvad, thank you for providing this incredible platform to spark conversations that matter. So let's rise for the national anthem. जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तब जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे Jaya 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 He. Jai.